On Outback Truckers, Steve Graham is the man who goes where few truckies dare.
I go into a lot of terrible places.
A whole community needs him to make it through.
Got some trailers caught in the sandbar. Bugger it.
But it's a 3,000-kilometre slog to get there.
I didn't like the sound of that at all.
Along roads that can wreck the toughest truck.
We're committed now. There's no turning this thing around here.
Cross-continent two-up team Mark and Claire run into trouble in the desert.
Just stay on the road. The road's wide enough, please. No.
There's somebody coming. There's a road train coming towards me.
And she's not your average truckie. She's a former model.
When I say to people I'm a truckie, there is generally disbelief.
Who now struts her stuff behind the wheel of an 80-ton rig. In Perth, lone trucking operator Steve Graham is preparing for an epic journey.
We'll go back a touch.
A 3,000-kilometre trek to the top of Western Australia. Steve's a veteran driver with a reputation for getting trucks and goods into places no one else can.
I generally get to where I say I'm going very, very rarely in all the years that I've been doing it. And I go into a lot of terrible places that I don't get there. That's why people ring me up and ask me to do it again.
He knows from cruel experience this trip could take 4 days, 4 weeks, or forever. Dodging animals, crossing flood-swollen rivers, and battling bog after muddy bog.
How's the sky looking today? Well, I'll be buggered.
The wet season looks like it's starting early.
If this particular bog hole got 20 mil on it just prior to me getting there, then it would pull me up. Things have to start moving. This trailer has to go now.
It's wild country where Steve's going, with crocodile-inhabited rivers to cross. So his gun and dog will ride up front with him. It's the last place on Earth you want to be breaking down. And Steve's engine has been threatening to do that a lot lately.
In all of the time that I've been working this very tired engine in order to get the money together to put a new engine in, you're nervous the whole time. When's the thing going to blow up? When's it going to grab a piston? The whole time you're in it, you're under stress. Is it going to let you down? Are you going to have a whole heap of disappointed customers? Fingers crossed, it'll do this trick.
When I say to people I'm a truckie, it's generally disbelief or, wow, really? How big are these trucks?
Deb Drew has got herself a new career. In her previous life, she was a model.
I did catwalk, television commercials.
A mother.
Bringing up my children alone.
And a businesswoman.
Running my own company.
Now she's trying something different.
This is a means to an end. My goal to see the country and get paid to do it.
She and driving partner Damo are about to set off on a trip to the dead centre of Australia, Melbourne to Alice Springs, when they get a late change to their destination.
Now we've just had a phone call saying, no, we're not going to Alice Springs, we're going to Darwin now.
That's added 3,000 kilometres to their journey and 2 days in the driving seat.
Yeah, that's just changed the whole sort of logistics of the thing.
The truck they've been given isn't what they were expecting either. It's a manual, and Deb's used to an automatic, and it's not running well.
And the truck sounds terrible.
And there's another problem.
There's no bull bar on it, and it's a road that's notorious for cattle wandering day and night.
It's not a good start, and they'll still be expected to make Darwin on time.
Oh, good. Change it, don't rearrange it. Oh, sorry about that.
Steve Graham's been driving for 2 days. He's travelled 2,200 kilometres from Perth to the coastal town of Broome. He's 2/3 of the way to his destination of Columbaroo. The easy part is over. Soon the bitumen will end and the hard yards begin.
The weather's done what we wanted it to do. It rained up here for 2 weeks, now it's dried out for a couple of days, so we'll be good to go.
Steve has a few last things to load before he heads off into the bush.
We'll take this fridge stuff off there, lift it off, and put your rolls of wire all the way across, make a level bed of the rolls of wire, and put the fridge, put them back on top. Does that sound like a plan to you?
It's not all heavy freight on these runs to nowhere. Someone wants a load of eggs delivered.
Is there some plan here that the eggs are going in the front of my truck with me? Because they're not. They'll never, I don't cut freight in the cab.
I'll take the eggs.
Why don't they get eggs off the plane? You get this trailer, that trailer, that trailer, you get all those trailers, but you don't get the cab.
It's the last stop for Steve's one-man truck show.
You want to put the sliding rolls down here?
Yeah, if you like, mate. My credit card's feeling heavier in my pocket by the second.
Steve's biggest concern, apart from the weather, is that his old engine is needing more and more oil.
Oh, the way this motor's going, I'm up to 3, sometimes 4 times a day. On this road that I'm going up here, because the oil consumption's way up like it is, I don't want to run it low. And there is a new engine ready to go in this truck back in Perth, but I'd rather drive this thing home than tow it. Things will start to get serious now. It's pretty warm out there. I reckon it's definitely hit its 40 degrees.
A hot day isn't what Steve wants. Not with an old engine that's guzzling oil and the sort of country that's up ahead.
You've got some fairly serious hills up there from the point of view of getting trucks up them.
Before crossing the mountain range, the first thing Steve has to do is reduce his tyre pressure.
I let the drive tyres down for traction, to get maximum traction. 45 or 50 pound, I'll have a look at them. I'll get them down to 50 and see how they look. I'll get them to so they're just nearly kissing. So I can get maximum traction on the hills up there. Truck feels a little bit more wishy-washy now on those tyres, but I'll get used to that soon enough. We start to climb now. The next serious range of hills is the King Leopold ranges. There's a couple of good pulls up there, a couple of fairly serious jump-ups.
A jump up is a short or long hill that robs a road train of its momentum and traction and can bring it to a standstill.
The old Kenworth that I had, it used to have a wooden floor in it. We used to catch fire every time it went up this second one up here. Pyrometer was on 650 degrees Celsius and the floorboards were starting to catch fire. And the smoke was coming up out from behind the fridge. See, this didn't look much of a hill from back there, but it's going to have us down in the low side of the box pretty quick. The truck's got to go immediately into working extremely hard at its limits. Turbocharger's running up over, 650 degrees Celsius.
Pulling a 100-ton load up a hill like this is pushing Steve's old engine to maximum capacity.
The gearboxes are running over 100 degrees Celsius and your diffs are up there too, and then you've got to make the poor thing work its guts out to get up the top of a fairly serious sort of a hill.
If the oil leaks as bad as Steve thinks, the engine could explode and the whole trip go up in smoke. And it's not just the engine that's at breaking point.
Back diff's hot, front diff's not, and that's because I didn't engage my power divider. What an idiot I am. Now, I realised that when I looked at it and saw that the back diff was running a lot hotter than the front diff. The back diff's doing all the work right now.
In Perth, interstate truck driver Mark Belitho is getting his rig ready for another 7,000 kilometre cross-continent trip to Melbourne and back.
Somebody else has touched all this, and I cannot leave it like it is. It's got to be done. I treat this truck like it's my own. I have become fastidious, pedantic, whatever the word is, very particular about any dust. And I've got a duster and dust cloths and hand wipes, and I'll clean while I'm driving along. My brand new flash hockey straps with the plastic protectors around the door hinges. I have to have my road train sign as straight as possible.
Taking Roy to the loo before we go. So we're all organised, buddy, hey.
Riding alongside on the trip will be Mark's driving partner, Claire, and little Roy, who never misses a trip.
I don't like grease, dirty, greasy handprints on anything in the truck. And if I see a spot somewhere, if I can reach it while I'm driving along, I'll clean it. If I can't reach it, when I stop, I'll clean it.
Mark lives for his truck. He even proposed in it.
I just looked at Claire and said, so do you want to get married?
So you want to get married?
At 100 kilometres an hour in a truck on a Sunday night around midnight.
And I went, yeah, all right then.
By nightfall, they're well out of Perth, and after a driver swap, it's Claire who'll be in charge for the next 4 hours.
Some of the dangers is driving at night. Obviously, you can't see as much animals. A few months ago, I hit 4 kangaroos before I was 170 k's out of Perth. Just one after the other, boom, boom, boom. 36.5 metres of truck to try and keep your eye on. That's a lot of truck.
Claire is still getting over a close call from the last trip.
Don't.
When a hesitant motorist forced her to make a last-minute pass at a railway crossing.
He didn't even see me behind him. I've had some close calls out here, some bloody close calls. The road's skinny, trucks are coming towards us, and woo, hairy stuff.
After the last-minute change to their itinerary, sending them to Darwin instead of Alice Springs, Deb and Damo have had another setback.
We're told that the trailers are going to be ready at 6 o'clock. It's half past 11 now.
And Deb's having more trouble with the gears.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that's first.
First,
Yeah, second. Yeah.
second,
Yeah,
third,
Yeah.
fourth.
yeah, start off in second.
Yeah. Finally, we're leaving. In the meantime, I jumped in the bunk and had a bit of a sleep, so... I'm crunching and grinding my way through the gears. I don't normally drive a manual. I drive an automatic.
Starting 5 hours late has really put the pressure on.
We'll be just going hard from here on. So no mucking about. Got to try and make up lost time.
On the outskirts of Melbourne, the boss calls.
You're not going to answer it.
He's been monitoring their progress by the satellite tracking system.
Hey, I know why he's ringing.
Why?
Oh, he's probably looking at the sat track. He's probably wondering why we're going this way.
And wants to know why they've chosen the route they're on.
We're going this way because we're going this way. And I'm the one driving, not him. That's why we're going this way.
Back on the mountainside, Steve Graham's road train is giving him all the wrong signals.
geez, I don't like the feel of that. Might be a bit of oil or something spilt back on the clutch plates, but I didn't like the sound of that at all. It doesn't look much, but by Jesus, this truck's doing it now. Just between you and I'm not feeling too good about it. That is a terrible noise coming out of the back of that firewall. That is like, not good. The water temperature's just nearly on the 100. The gearbox is going up. Not enough gear for it to do the job, so I'll go down another one. And she broke traction then, we had wheel spin, but I backed the revs right off. It's trying to stall and it's trying to spin its wheels. Come on truck, walk with it. Geez, I was making smart comments about jump ups. When you're on that jump up and you're looking at it and it's several hundred metres long and you're 3/4 of the way up there, you start hearing banging and shuddering coming from behind the firewall. And there's a clutch or something graunging up in this truck. Things trying to let go. Whatever's making that racket under there is not good. Your heart starts thumping away quietly in your chest.
The gauges are screaming trouble, but it's the floor of the cabin that's really getting his attention. It's burning hot.
Cooking egg on the bottom of the thong right now. That's why I keep moving that foot around. Think positive, Stevie. We might do it. Might just.
He knows that if the hill wins and the truck stops, he's got a whole new battle on his hands.
I can't believe I just got caught on this one.
Claire and Mark's road train has run throughout the night. They'll soon be hitting the edge of the vast Nullarbor Plain, 1,000 kilometres of nothing. It's a good time for one last stop before the monotony of endless, long, flat straights.
Come on, Squig man. Little Squiggy, hey? You have a good snooze? Yeah? Oh, he's going to back one out.
Also crossing the Nullarbor will be 2 oversized trucks carrying mining equipment.
They're probably going to have to back out. Both of them, they're huge.
And Mark's keen not to get stuck behind them.
Hey, you want to go to the toilet? So we can head off. Try not to be super long. Come on, dude. Claire, finish your stinking cigarette.
No, I won't.
I asked you not to do that.
It's been a long night.
And you're going to smell getting in the truck.
For everyone.
There you go. Oh, come on. You little... If he gets around there without scraping anything, he's done pretty good. That's some good driving there in the big red cab over.
Yeah, bit of luck there, buddy.
Bit of luck, I don't know, mate. I'd say it's skill because there's a little rock wall there and I was going to check to see if you had scrapes on your tyres or your paintwork on the right, but not a drop.
Thank you, buddy.
You's going east or west?
Head east, buddy.
Not a drama, mate. Plenty of road out there to pass you anyway.
The oversized trucks appear in no time at all, and getting past them in a road train, even on a straight road, is going to be tricky.
I'm going to be overtaking 2 4.5 metre loads, which is around close to 15 foot wide. Each lane is only 10 foot wide. If they drop their tyres off on the road, you've got a good chance that you win. Oh, why are they doing that? Oh, no, I don't need to go through that dust. If stone's being flicked up from their wheels straight into your windscreen.
Mark has to wait for the pilot car to radio him that it's clear to go.
How are we looking in the oversized, mate? We've got a train coming up. We've got a good run up there to the top.
Yeah, one in the chute, mate.
Okay. Shit. That'd be right. All this road out here, and there's one coming down. Oh no, stay on the road. Oh, I don't believe this. What is he doing?
Yeah, after this little one goes past, mate, she's all dark up here.
I'm gonna, mate, because you're covering me in dust.
The Silver Fall Drive.
All right, matey, coming around, to start it.
All right, bring her in.
Just stay on the road. The road's wide enough, please. We've gone through enough dust storms. Keep it on the road. No, it's the bloke in the Volvo. Crazy, man. This guy here is only young and I reckon that's why he keeps going off the road. Plenty of room, plenty of bitumen. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, job done there in the train.
Thanks, guys. You have a safe day.
Steve Graham's road train is stuck on the side of a hill.
And I had traction here, but I didn't have a low enough gear. I was in second gear, not first.
He's only a few metres from making it over the crest.
Right, we'll break this road train up.
But now he's got the back-breaking job of uncoupling the trailers and pulling them over the top, one by one.
When you're here in the bush and it's a hard way, you might as well do it the hard way. Because if you try and do it the easy way, it'll bugger up on you. All right, should be good to go. Well, that's the jump up. I would have rather not got caught on it. But anyway, that's the business. That'll teach me a lesson. I'll make sure I'm rolling hard for the next one.
After a stop to change drivers, Mark and Claire are on the edge of the Nullarbor Plain. They're on the start of a 140-kilometre straight stretch.
You find that, you know, if there's anywhere that you can sort of perhaps lose concentration easily, it'll be along here.
The driver swap means Mark can catch up on some sleep, but it also means they're back behind the same wide load.
I'm going to have to get around them. Hopefully he's not going to cover me in stones and crap.
Claire still remembers a terrifying experience she had with an oversized convoy.
I hadn't been driving that long at all, only a few months, and the guy in the wide load went off the road. It shattered my windscreen and I had glass all over me and all in my head, and had to try and slow the truck down, and as I moved my legs, all the glass under my feet and seat was cutting me. It's not the greatest section of road to have to do it on because there's a lot of divots and your steer tyres can get caught in them, and it's like sort of sitting on rails. Yeah, matey.
Take a run for it if you like.
I'll give it a go.
Claire's now flying blind, relying on someone else's judgment on how safe it is. Turns out it's not safe at all.
There's one coming. Me. Not smart at all. It's very uncool, man. These guys up here are responsible for calling and saying it's dark, and it wasn't dark, which means there was somebody coming. That's how accidents happen, man. It's a straight bit of bloody road you can see for 1,000,000 miles. I'm out and about, halfway along, 2 4.5 metre wide loads, and there's a road train coming towards me. That's just careless. That's slack work and carelessness.
Claire is stranded on the wrong side of the road. She needs the oncoming road train to back off.
Job done.
That was not smart. That was very uncool, man. Thanks in the Harrises.
That's right.
He was nice. Sometimes dudes won't back off. It's like, hang on a minute. You know, you're the one that's on the wrong side of the road overtaking. I'm doing my thing here on the right side of the road, so bugger ya. I'm going to keep the gas on, brother. Very angry with that. Not good. If I was in a position where I thought, ooh, I don't know what to do or whatever, you know, it's like, it makes makes you back off, and then everybody's backing off, and you're still in the same position, you're just going slower. And then you're trying to get 4 or 5 vehicles all to coordinate with each other, and it all f***s up. Stupid. As I said, these guys do this for a living, they should know better than that. That's how f***ing accidents happen, man. But we didn't get showered in rocks. I didn't hit the oncoming road train. I didn't drop it in the dirt, so successful.
In remote northwestern Australia, Steve Graham's battle-scarred rig is now negotiating a lonely bush track. He's trying to stay ahead of forecast rain that will signal the start of the wet season. But the road from here is a minefield of bogs, river crossings and steep climbs that have already pushed his ageing engine to the limit.
Truck's boiling. I'm just backing the revs off now and just let it everything cool down.
While Steve's busy nursing his overheating engine, a local station owner radios him a warning about a river crossing up ahead.
Yeah, no worries. Just be careful at the river because there's a bit of a sandbar through there. There is at Barnett River.
Righto, the river's been up, has it, and got a bit of a sandbar going?
Yes, it has. It's about a good half a metre deep.
Okay, that might pull me up. I'll have a look at it when I get down there, eh? It's always got a bit of a challenge. There's always something going on this road.
The afternoon light is just starting to go when Steve arrives at the Barnett River. It's recently been in flood, and there's a risk that under the water, heavy sand has spread across the concrete causeway, which could turn a simple crossing into a precarious one.
There's some sand washed up in the middle. I can see the sand there, but I'll just stick in the middle of the floodway here. Oh, up on the sand there, it's deep enough, but I should plough through and pick up some concrete at the bottom. There's a bit of depth in the water there. She knows she's working, the old girl. Shit, we got to. Got some trailers caught in the sandbar. Bugger it. That sand is fine compressed sand, and the more wheels that got into it finally pulled the road train up.
It's one man and his shovel against a riverbed that stopped 100 tonnes of truck.
It's like having a brick in front of 62 wheels.
The fix could be as simple as shoveling some of the sand away.
As I pick it up, the water washes it away that quick. I'll just shift it out from under the wheels. But it grabs. It's very solid sand. It grabs the wheels. The shovel was nearly forgotten the other day. It was a last-minute thing. Grab the shovel. Don't forget the shovel. Well, the shovel came in handy.
At the Barnett River, Steve Graham's watching the light fade fast, but he can't afford to give up. Steve can't leave the truck straddling the river overnight, in case there's a flash flood. That would be disastrous.
If you get a thunderstorm upstream, the water level can go up and down, metres in minutes.
The rising water's not the only thing spooking him in this fading light.
There was something swirling around. I think there was a barramundi. First I thought it was a croc, but I think it was a barra.
There's time for one last try. If this fails, he's in serious trouble. On the edge of the Central Australian desert,
We're heading out into the Outback proper now.
Deb's worried about the number of animals she's passing on the roadside.
We're just coming up to the area where we've been told cattle will come onto the roads. We're just sort of making a point of keeping eyes on the road.
Sitting 2 metres up in the cabin gives her a clear view of any animals.
If I see a beast on the road, then I'm going to certainly slow right down.
But the roar of a road train travelling at 100 kilometres an hour can spook the animals into doing crazy things.
They can be a little bit unpredictable, I don't know, and maybe even they don't know which way they're going to run. So I've got the warning sign here, animals on the road. A couple of kangaroos that were just standing on the side of the road, but they saw that car coming the other way and took off into the bush. This time of day, just on dusk, is the worst time for wildlife. Out of all the hundreds of thousands of acres they could be jumping around on, why they want to be on a road.
Despite being Spartan and unfenced, this is still grazing country for cattle and sheep.
Haven't seen any cows yet though. Hitting a cow without a bull bar, I really don't want to do that. It would end up taking out a headlight or two, maybe pushing the bumper against a front wheel.
No cattle, but plenty of sheep not far from the tarmac. And 3 that decide they want to cross.
I hope. Vehicle behind me. Oh, dodged it. That's all right. That was a herd of sheep. I got one. Straight under. Whoops. The vehicle behind had to dodge. Probably as it came flying out the back through the trailers, I'd say.
After his river crossing delay, Steve Graham is working hard to make up time. But the start of the wet season is never far from his thoughts.
I can see there's been a lot of rain here, a lot of rain. So all this water that was up here will have ended up down there in the creek. If it was all good still, I was just going to keep on pedalling because I can see a bit of cloud around and I want to get through that bit of black soil today if I can. Over.
The clouds Steve saw a few kilometres back have now built up into a storm cell. Steve's truck is 50 metres long and weighs over 100 tonnes. Without a good grip on the road, it's madness to continue.
I I just started to slip sideways. I can see the tracks where a Toyota's already come up here and slipped sideways. So I've just pulled it up. I'm not bogged. I'm not leaving any marks on the road. So now's the time to stop. I'm on the edge of a thunderstorm. With a bit of luck, it'll all be gone in an hour. This is what happens. We're here. We can only do what we can do at this point. But anyway, we're committed now. There's no turning this thing around here.
On the road to Darwin, Deb's still thinking about the sheep she hit a few kilometres back.
Hitting a sheep or a kangaroo in a truck this size, the impact's actually really pretty insignificant. You hear a thump and that's about it. There's no big bang, there's no bouncing about, nothing like that. You just go straight over the top of it. The feeling though, on the other hand, knowing that you've, particularly a big kangaroo, knowing that you've just annihilated a big, warm, live animal, it feels really horrible actually. And the first time I hit one, I felt really quite dreadful for a few hours afterwards. I don't know, it's a sheep, it's gone, it's done. I don't know, it kind of should have looked right, looked left and looked right again, I suppose.
Despite the high-speed collision, the truck's been running fine. But without a bull bar, Deb wants to double-check there's no damage. On the Nullarbor Plain, Claire and Mark are having to make an unscheduled stop.
We're just pulling in and going to have a quick little stop and let Roy out.
Little Roy is not himself.
He's old. Hey, Roy boy. Hey. Hey.
He's been agitated for the last part of the trip. Maybe a comfort stop will help.
That's it.
Back on the highway, they have two problems. Roy is still playing up.
Come on. Stop that.
And the wide load they've passed twice is now in front of them again.
These are the guys that I had to overtake before, and you know.
Back up there, Bob. Yep. Yeah, bring her around and then chuck behind the oversized.
Give it a go, mate. I'll just wind it back up. Don't fucking do this to me again, guys.
Last time when they called her through, there was a truck coming. This time, they find another way to annoy her.
Goff? Shit, that shits me. And no need for that nonsense, you know? No, it's female, it might take a while. They just can't help themselves, bastards. I hate that sort of shit. And it's like they want me to say something. I never give them the satisfaction. Water off a duck's back now. Years ago though, it would, you know, upset me. At least I can keep mine on the road. Thank you kindly, gentlemen. Thank you. I'm always incredibly polite. Got to play nice with others out here, and they were not playing nice.
Steve Graham is tantalisingly close to his destination of Columbaroo, only 100 kilometres away. But he's still not confident to push on and drive his truck through on the muddy track.
Experience tells me that's where I'll end up, down there. So just wait.
The rain has stopped, but the road is still a bog. To make matters worse, Steve has a slow leaking tyre that he has to change. At 60 years of age, he could be comfortably retired by now. Instead, he's stuck in the middle of nowhere, with clients calling him up wanting to know where he is.
I think what drives me mad is when people ring up or start chasing me up saying, where are you? Where are you now? Why aren't you here? Where are you now? I feel like grabbing them by the neck and dragging them out here and saying, well, I'll show you where I am now. It's why it takes a while to get there. And they somehow think you're on a holiday because it takes 3 or 4 days to get there. And they infer that you've been having a holiday. I'll get angry with people like that.
When you've got 62 tyres running across the roughest road surface imaginable, you're lucky if it's only one that's going flat.
The mud is a pain in the arse. I mean, how many tyres I change? I don't get to love it.
With the tyre fixed, Steve has a decision to make. He wants to press on, but trying to drive himself out of this mess could make things worse.
I'm just sliding down the hill. What I was worried about's happening. I'm sliding off down into the gully, into that really wet, slippery stuff.
The settlement he's supplying is so close that reinforcements arrive. It's a long shot, but maybe these four-wheel drives can pull him free.
What I'd like to do is put you in front of me, up on the grass, you know, one set of wheels on the grass sort of thing, and just run a light chain, not a heavy chain. It's just slipping on the clay. And I'm thinking if I had you up there, just to keep my nose to stop the front of that truck sliding down. My steer tyres are actually sliding down sideways as I go forward.
Yeah, I did a bit of sliding back there too. But...
And I thought if you had two wheels on the grass, I've got a good chance of just pulling that one out. I should have stayed where I was. Come on, this is where we camp tonight. For the sake of an hour or 2 hours in Perth last week, I wouldn't be here now, I'd be in Columbaroo. And that's so frustrating, knowing you've got this window and it's narrowing and narrowing and narrowing, and then you get to within 200 kilometres of your destination and you're bogged. But anyway, that's hindsight.
Deb and Damo are on day 3 of their run from Melbourne to Darwin. After doing the early morning shift, Damo has retired to the bunk.
The thing is, once you've finished a stretch of driving, you're that tired to actually be able to go horizontal. It feels like heaven, and you don't have any problem sleeping. In parts of this road, you'll actually come off the bunk a foot and get body slammed against the seat, going over some of the bumps. We're both pretty sound sleepers, so that certainly helps. He can be unconscious for hours. I can set him up with an IV line and he probably wouldn't wake up till Darwin, I'd say.
Deb learned to drive in the New Zealand Army.
That's what gets up in here.
I was in their transport division. That's where I got my licence. A while after that, I married an Australian raised 3 children, went to university, got a degree. In the few years before I came over to Australia, I was doing property development, running my own company.
Life is simpler now, just the truck, the road and a whole continent to explore.
The pay's good and the freedom that goes with it, just being out in the open and away from everybody, actually. That's a real bonus. I've been there, done that, and I can just do this for me. When you're out here and under a big sky, you're not that damn important in the scheme of things.
The road Steve Graham is on is looking like the road to ruin. He is hopelessly stuck in a bog. He's already had cars try to tow him out. Now his only hope is that the mud has dried just enough to give him some traction.
It's drying out by the minute. What was mud this morning when I got up out of bed was hurting my feet by 7:30. 103 kilometres to go, which is the worst 103. And now the fun starts. At every point that you get to, the road gets less maintained, less cared for. Proper goat track up here.
With the road in such bad shape, the people Steve's delivering to are starting to worry he'll never make it. Their inquiries are starting to get to him.
Now, I'm not bogged and I'm heading towards Theda. Over. I'm not going to get bogged for the next 80 or 90 kilometres. Over.
But the road in front of him is telling a different story.
People are running around like chooks with their heads cut off. It'd be good if everyone had calmed down and just let me do my job. People are making phone calls in every different direction because it's rain, thinking, wow, this is it, the wet season's coming. All of those people that want this road train to get there know that I will be out here doing whatever I've got to do to make it happen. I won't stop. I'll drive this road train in there, I'll deliver my freight and I'll drive the thing out. I might need a bit of a hand at the end, at the last little bit, but that's the way it goes.
But Steve will need a hand much earlier than he thinks. Over the next few kilometres, the road gets progressively worse. Much worse than he anticipated.
It's starting to get a bit serious now.
Finally, the mud gets so deep, he just can't continue. The people waiting on Steve's supplies are now seriously concerned that he's not going to make it. Builders waiting on materials. The community store waiting for food. As a last-ditch attempt, they send out a grader to try and pull him through before the weather gets any worse. They're going to use a chain to try to pull him out. There's a real risk it won't be strong enough, but it's the only chain they have. It's a dangerous job, but it's Steve's last hope. Outback.